And welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Our next DNC meeting is in August, and we will vote to elect 75 at-large DNC members and ratify Chair Martin's appointments to the Standing Committee. Today's election will help finalize the full proposed slate for that meeting. Here's how the process is going to work. In May, Chair Martin released a partial slate of 60 at-large DNC members, nominees, and his initial appointments to the Standing Committee. To fill out the remainder of the slate, the regional caucus will each elect 2 at-large DNC members along with 2 individuals to serve on credentials, resolution, rules, and bylaws committees. The AAPI, the Black, the Disability, Hispanic, LGBTQ, and Native American Caucus, and the Youth Council will each elect an at-large DNC member. The Constituency Caucus and the Youth Council will elect 1 individual to each of the 3 standing committees. The candidate you select today will be added to Chair Martin's slate for consideration and ratified by the full DNC in August. This process is historic. It marks the first time that members of the DNC are playing a direct and significant role in shaping these slates. Action like these are one step toward democratizing the DNC together. We have the opportunity to ensure all voices are being heard in our party. Democracy is never simple and certainly cannot be accomplished alone. I want to thank you for your time and participation today. So before we begin, we will establish a quorum, which is 40% of the membership in person or by proxy. We would determine the quorum by voting with Election Buddy, which is the same software used for the vice chair vote in June and the technology we will use for voting today. I will ask the staff to give us an overview, which Veronica just did. So if she would, and thank you for your participation today. Members, the ballot is your email and also in the Zoom chat. The ballot will remain open for 5 minutes. Please message the election support in the chat if you have trouble accessing the ballot. Thank you, and we will be back shortly.
Chair Rollins, this is Erin with the DNC. If it's all right with you, I'm happy to do a quick refresher on the voting system while we wait for people to get their quorum ballots in.
Okay.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. You should be pretty familiar with Election Buddy. We did just use this in June for a really successful vote for our DNC vice chairs. The system is pretty much the same. So you all have received an email which contains your unique access key and your password. Your access key is the email that we have on file for you, and your password is a unique 4-digit PIN. Both of those are included in the email that has just been sent to you. And again, if you do not have that email, please message us in the Zoom chat here or call us on the hotline or email us at electionsupport@dnc.org. Next slide. So once you click the voting link in your email, that link is also in the chat. It'll take you to the ballot page of Election Buddy. All ballots for the duration of this meeting will appear on that page. The voting link will remain the same, and as votes are active, they'll appear on the page. This is really great because it means you only have to log into the system once. The rest will just keep populating. So if you go ahead to the next slide. So this is what the live ballot page looks like. You can see there that it says test quorum vote. That means that there's a live ballot active at this moment. So you go ahead and you click that button and you go to the next slide. And on the very first time, it'll ask you to sign in. So you use that access key, which is your email, and the password, your 4-digit PIN, and you click vote now, sign in. And like I said, you'll only have to do this once throughout the whole meeting. So it's important for everyone to get in there, cast your quorum vote. And then I promise, unless you log out, you won't have to do this again. But don't worry, if you do close your voting page and you do log out, you can always log back in. Next slide. So once you log in, you'll be brought to the ballot page. This should look pretty familiar to folks. You'll see your question and then the options below. Once you select your option, the little blue circle on the far right will turn blue, like I said, and then you'll get that green toolbar at the bottom there. You'll go ahead and click continue after that. And then you'll get to review your ballot. So the next page will allow you to review your vote and edit it if necessary. And once you've reviewed your ballot, you go ahead and click submit, and that's how you cast your vote. When you cast your vote, you'll get a confirmation both live on the screen. If we go to the next slide, there we go. And then you'll also get this via email. You'll see a button that says next vote, and that'll take you right back waiting for the next vote. You don't have to log in again. It's all there ready for you. And there we go. So that is the brief overview. I know the quorum vote is still going on. The hotline number is in the chat right now. And again, chat us if you have any questions, and we will make sure that we get all of your votes in. And thank you so much for the time, Chair Rollins.
Making sure we got our quorum.
Hi, everyone. We'll be resending the quorum ballot link in the chat momentarily. If you have not voted, please be sure to cast your quorum ballots. Thanks so much.
Y'all be quiet. Well, thank you, members. We do have a quorum. So our first order of business is to approve the proposed rules from Chair Martin for the advisory elections that will govern today's election. You received the rules in the 7-day meeting notice. DNC staff will also put it in the chat. I will go over some of the key opponents of the process now. The window for nomination closed on June 30th. and nominations will not be accepted from the floor. Before each vote, you will have the chance to hear from the candidates joining us today. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks ahead of each election. We will elect our at-large DNC member first, and then we will move to the standing committee elections in the following order: Credentials Committee, Resolution Committee, then Rules and Bylaws Committee. In order to serve on a standing committee, an individual must be a member of the DNC. If a non-DNC member wins a standing committee election and does not secure an at-large seat, the second highest vote getter will receive the nomination. As a reminder, these elections determine who will be added to the Chair Martin slate. No position is considered final until the full DNC members meet in August to vote to elect the at-large nominees and ratify the standing committee appointments. Additionally, Chair Martin will not appoint an individual to more than one standing committee. Once a candidate has been nominated, once a candidate has been nominated to a standing committee slate, they will be removed from future standing committee ballots. Proxy votes will be accepted. All proxies were required to be submitted to the Office of Secretary by Monday, July 7th. No additional proxies or transfer of proxy will be accepted at this time. We will be utilizing a plurality vote. The highest vote getter will win. If only one person is nominated to an office, the chair can declare the nominee is elected by acclamation. In case of a tie, an additional ballot will be conducted between the two candidates received the highest number of votes. Proposed rules for Chair Martin vote. We will now vote to approve the proposed rules from Chair Martin's for advisory election. The vote will be conducted exactly like the quorum vote. Please return the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The second vote will appear automatically. You've been logged out or your voting account. Don't worry, you can log back in by clicking the link in your email or in the chat. Before we move to a vote, does anyone have any questions or concerns? The staff will let you know if there's a question. Yeah, the staff is going to let me know if there's a question.
Seeing none, Chair.
Okay. Here, there's no questions. The proposed rules from Chair Martin advisory vote is now open. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Please message if you're having any trouble finding your email, and we will be back shortly.
Hi, folks. We have just about 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining in the balloting period. Thank you.
The ballot has been closed and we will be back shortly. Thank you again, members. Chair Martin's rules election have been adopted. We will now move to the election for DNC member at large. As you may be aware, the DNC charter requires the full slate of at-large DNC members to be gender balanced. Chair Martin has nominated 60 members. In order to complete his slate and maintain gender balance, each caucus was pre-designated a gender. We will now vote for the position of male at-large DNC members. The following candidates have been nominated. Leon Breakway. Leon is a male candidate for Massachusetts. Devontae Lewis. Devontae is a male candidate for Louisiana. And Travis is a male candidate for Oregon. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. When candidate name is called, they will be unmuted and the 1 minute will begin. Once they have conducted their remarks, they will be muted again. We will begin with Mr. Leon Breakway.
Good evening, members of the Black Caucus. My name is Leon Brathwaite. I respectfully ask for your vote for at-large member. I am serving as the second vice chair of the Mass Democratic Party, where I've worked relentlessly to increase representation and voice for Democrats for over 40 years. The late DNC member, the Honorable Ray Jordan, and I co-founded the Caucus of Minority Democrats in Mass to increase membership on the state committee and delegates to state and national convention. At the DNC, I serve as first vice chair of the Rural Council where I've worked with Chair Kylie Overton and my colleagues to create greater access and communication for inclusion of rural Democrats. In my professional career, I served as chair of the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination and the State Office of Affirmative Action for former governor and presidential candidate Michael S. Dukakis. I am committed to working with Chairman Martin, the DNC leadership team, and the Black Caucus members to strengthen our party's message and clarity, to support the policies to address the needs of African Americans and working class families, to elect Democrats up and down the ballot to gain back the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Leon. Next, we will hear from Devontae Lewis.
Chair Rollins, we do not see Mr. Lewis on the call currently. So if he is on the call, please go ahead and send us a chat, but at this time, we do not see the candidate.
Next, we will hear from Travis Nelson.
Good evening, Black Caucus members. State Representative Travis Nelson from Oregon here. I humbly ask for your vote. From 2017 to 2024, I served as Western Director of the DNC Black Caucus, organizing Black caucuses across the West, holding regular meetings with Black Caucus leaders. Miss Virgie and I worked to organize and put on 2 different Western Regional Summits, one in Las Vegas, another in Phoenix. And over the course of the last decade or so, I have done a lot of work in getting Black candidates elected. My colleague Janelle Bynum became the first Black Congresswoman from Oregon with help that I gave her and organizing work that I did for her as well. If elected, I would bring a voice under 50, an LGBTQ plus voice to the caucus, and another Western voice as well. So I humbly ask for your vote, and I hope that you check Travis Nelson. Thank you for putting up with the emails and the phone calls.
Thank you, Travis. So that concludes our nomination speech for our candidates. If Dante is, do we know if he's here? Staff?
Chair, we do not see the candidate on the call. We can move on. Thank you.
So that includes our nomination speech for our candidates for DNC at large. The at-large member vote is now open. Please return to the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The vote will appear automatically. You have been logged out of your voting account. Don't worry, you can log back in by clicking either the link in your email or in the chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you, and we'll be back shortly. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote, and we'll be back shortly.
Members, we have just over 1 minute left. Just over 1 minute to cast your ballot.
The ballots are now closed, and we will be back shortly for the results. So we do have the results. 60 votes were cast. Travis Nelson received 45 votes. Leon Brathwaite received 13 votes. Devontae Lewis received 2 votes. Travis Nelson received the most votes. Travis is the Black Caucus at Large representative to Chair Martin Slade. Thank you, members. We will now move to the election for Credentials Committee members. The following candidates have been nominated for any gender credentials committee position. Sheila Huggins. Sheila is a female candidate from North Carolina. Sheila is a DNC member. Michelle Johnson. Michelle is a female candidate from Louisiana. Michelle is a DNC member. Latanya Reeves is a female candidate from Minnesota, and Latanya is a DNC member. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1 minute members. So we will begin with Sheila.
Good evening, Black Caucus members. My name is Sheila Huggins. I'm a DNC member from North Carolina. And as you know, our Credentials Committee ensures that members are properly credentialed, that disputes are handled fairly, and that every seat at the table is earned through legitimate and transparent processes. Well, that's where I come in. I've been a licensed attorney in North Carolina for over 20 years. My legal career has been built on understanding rules, evaluating evidence, and advocating for fairness. I've handled hearings, arbitrations, and courtroom proceedings, always, always, always with a deep respect for process and a sharp eye for detail. And since my election to the DNC in 2016, I've served our party faithfully at the local, state, and national levels, just like you. I've delivered I Will Vote materials across North Carolina and supported major events, including the Black Caucus gathering in our state. I don't just show up, I engage, I organize, and I make sure that things are done right. I'm running for a seat on the Credentials Committee because I know how important it is to protect the integrity of our internal processes. I appreciate your vote, and I hope that you will support me. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Michelle. Michelle Johnson. You have 1 minute.
Awesome. Hi, members. Thank you so much for being on this call today. My name is Michelle Johnson. I am the DNC representative for Louisiana, and I'm also an elected member to my party county commission. And on that commission, we actually started a grievance committee, which essentially is kind of what the Credentials Committee is doing. So I'm already in the process of handling these types of things on our local level. I identified that we needed this. I worked with our chair and developed the words to put this into our bylaws to make this a formal committee that we can use to ensure that our meetings are not taken up with things of credentials natures, but that we can get to the business of electing more Democrats. Most recently, I was associated with a campaign to Forest Soil and Water Conservation District. I am heavily involved with getting more Democrats elected here on the ground in New Orleans and within the state of Louisiana. I would appreciate your vote as a young person and also as someone who's already doing this work on a local level to ensure that we remain fair and transparent in all of our dealings at the DNC. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Michelle. Our next candidate is Latanya Reeves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Latanya Reeves, and I hail from the great state of Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis. I am a career probation officer up here in the largest county in Minnesota. And in that capacity, I serve as the proud president of Local 552 Probation and Parole and serve as the vice president of ASME Council 5 out of Minnesota. In that capacity, I've had the opportunity to work on grievances, louder hearings, and do contracts. And so I'm very familiar with rules and process. I work in the judicial system and been doing it for almost 2 decades. And so I really love working with people. I love organizing our community. I've had the pleasure of working with Black Political Action up here in Minnesota. So definitely love to organize our community and get involved in the process. In the fact that I love doing rules and process that make me a really good candidate for the Credentials Committee, I want to make sure our process is fair and accessible and that we really listen to our communities to make sure we're involved in the democratic process. So I appreciate your vote and thank you for your time. I'll look to see forward to see you guys in Minneapolis for the DNC meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, LaTanya. This concludes our nominating speeches for our candidates for DNC Credentials Committee. The Credentials Committee vote is now open. Please return the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The vote will appear automatically. If you have been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can log back in by clicking either the link in or your email or in the chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you, and we will be back shortly.
Members, there are 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes. Thank you.
The ballots have been closed and we will get the results momentarily. The votes have been counted. 61 votes were cast. Sheila Huggins have received 49 votes. Latanya Reeves have received 7 votes. Michelle Johnson has received 5 votes. Sheila Huggins has received the most votes. Sheila is a Black Caucus representative to Chair Martin's Credentials Committee. Thank you, members. Thank you again. We will now move on to election for resolution committee members. Charlie Statton has been nominated for the male credentials committee position. Charlie is the male DNC members from Alabama. And Charlie is the only one that is a nominee for resolution. And can we vote by acclamation for Charlie Stanton for resolution committee?
Chair, yes, the rules of procedure do provide for that.
Okay, so we have Charlie Stanton is our representative for resolutions for the DNC. Next, we have the following candidates have been nominated for mayor rules and bylaws committee. Melvin Poindexter. Melvin is a male DNC member from Massachusetts. Andre Washington. Andre is a male DNC member from Ohio. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. Speaking order has been determined alphabetically by. We will begin with Melvin Poindexter.
Good evening, members of the Black Caucus. This is Melvin Poindexter, as Chairwoman has identified. I've been a member of the Massachusetts Democratic Party for the past 25 years, and in that time, I've served as the co-chair of our Affirmative Action Committee and have served on multiple times as the co-chair for our National Delegate Selection process. I'm also the co-chair of the Human Rights Commission here in Watertown in Massachusetts. My motivation for running for the Rules and Bylaws Committee is a simple one. In 2020, Rules and Bylaws made a pivotal role in moving South Carolina up from the position it was in before to being number 1. That it motivated so many voters across the country, and it played a key and significant role in the win for the Biden-Harris campaign. My concern is that looking at what happened in 2024, the feeling is that some in the party may decide it may be necessary for us to go back to an old, outdated method. Again, that move was a pivotal one that motivated and showed people of color and diversity across the country that we are committed to recognizing the power of their votes, recognizing the role that they play, and the significance of hearing their voices. I want to be part of and ask for your vote to be part of the Rules and Bylaws Committee to continue this work and to continue sending that message.
Thank you, Melvin. Next, we will hear from Andre Washington.
Good evening, delegates. My name is Andre Washington, and I am Vice Chair of the Ohio Democratic Party. I am humbly asking for your support as I run for the Rules and Bylaws Committee. With decades of experience in the labor movement and civil rights, I know how to stand on principle and protect the voice of the people. You see, in the Bible, it says, let all things be done decent and in order. That's what I bring, order, fairness, and a deep respect for the rules that guide us. If you trust me with your vote, I promise to serve with integrity, strength, and accountability. Thank you for your consideration and your support. In solidarity, Andre Washington from the great state of Ohio.
Thank you, Andre. This conclude our nomination speech for our candidates. DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee. The Rules and Bylaws Committee members' vote is now open. Please return to the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your vote account, don't worry. You have logged back in by clicking either the link in your email or in the chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you, and we will be back shortly.
Members, there are 2 minutes left in the balloting period.
The ballot is now closed and we will be back shortly with the results. Again, thank you all for being part of this election. 61 votes were cast. Andre Washington received 53 votes. Melvin Pondexter have received 8 votes. Andre Washington have received the most votes. Andre is the Black Caucus representative for Chair Martin for Rules and Bylaws Committee. Members, this concludes our business for today. Congratulations for those elected to the chairs at large standing committee slates. Your service is both appreciated and essential to the work ahead. And thank you all for your meaningful participation in the process. Today's meeting was one step forward in our continued effort to build a more inclusive representative in the Democratic Party. I look forward to seeing everyone in Minneapolis for the August DNC meeting. So thank you all so much for participating and see you in Minneapolis.